Alara stood in the doorway of her bedroom. She looked at the empty space where her clothes used to hang. She felt her hands shake. 3 days ago, she had a small surgery to remove a tiny cyst. The doctors told her not to lift heavy things. But her husband Caspian did not care. He packed her things himself and put them in big garbage bags near the front door. But the worst thing was not the bags. On the kitchen table was a paper from the bank. It showed their joint account, the account with her money, her salary, her savings, everything she earned in 5 years of marriage. It was empty. Caspian took every dollar. Beside the bank paper were divorce papers. Already signed, already finished. He didn't talk to her. He didn't ask how she felt. He did not care. And under the papers was an eviction notice. She had to leave the house. The problem was, the house was in Caspian's name. Alara never asked about it because she trusted him. She thought couples were supposed to be partners. She didn't know he had planned this for months, maybe even longer. Alara's phone buzzed. One more text from a number she didn't know. She'd been getting messages all morning. You really thought he loved you? He has been with me for 2 years. You were just easy to use. The message was from Jade. Jade was Caspian's secretary. The same woman Alara had smiled at during office parties. The same woman she helped choose a birthday gift for just 1 month ago. Alara's legs felt weak. She sat on the floor. Her stomach hurt where the surgery was done, but her heart hurt more. Caspian walked in. He was whistling, happy like nothing was wrong. He stopped when he saw Alara on the floor. His face changed. First he looked surprised, then annoyed. You're still here? I thought you'd be gone, he said. Alara looked at him. This was the man she loved, the man she worked 2 jobs for so he could finish school, the man whose mother she took care of when she was dying. Where am I supposed to go? Alara asked softly. You took everything. Caspian shrugged like he didn't care. Not my problem. Jade and I need the space. She's moving in this weekend. Alara felt like her heart broke again. You're moving her into our home? My home, Caspian corrected. Check the papers. Your name was never on it. I made sure of that. Her chest felt like it was full of ice. I supported you. I worked so you could study, she whispered. I said thank you, didn't I? Caspian replied, though he didn't sound thankful at all. But let's be honest, Alara. You were never going to be something big. You're just a receptionist. Jade has big dreams. She fits my life. You don't. He picked up his car keys. The eviction starts now. I already changed the locks. Take your things or I'll throw them out. Then he walked away. Alara sat on the floor for a long time. 20 minutes passed before she could move her body again. Slowly, she stood up and dragged the garbage bags outside. Every step hurt because of her surgery, but she didn't stop. She had no money for a taxi. The bus wouldn't let her carry so many bags, so she walked. She walked 6 blocks to a small motel with a broken neon sign. She never thought she would need to sleep there. The man at the desk did not smile, he just took her money. She had $43. That was enough for only 2 nights. The room smelled like cigarettes. The ceiling had a dark stain she didn't want to think about, but it was a roof over her head. She sat on the bed and checked her phone. 12 missed calls from work. She called back. Alara, where have you been? Her boss Miranda asked angrily. We heard from your husband. He said you stole from the company. He said you sold client information. What? That's not true, Alara cried. But Miranda didn't listen. We have to let you go. You are fired. HR will send you your last check. The call ended. Alara looked at her phone screen. She saw her own tired face reflected in the black screen. She barely knew this person. She felt empty, invisible, small. She lay down on the bed and stared at the stain above her. She tried to remember the last time someone made her feel important. She could not remember. Caspian was right about one thing. She had never gone anywhere. She had spent all her time helping him go somewhere instead. But he was wrong about something else. This was not the end of Alara's story. She didn't know what she would do tomorrow. She didn't know where she would sleep next week. But she remembered something important. She had survived before. As a child, she grew up in foster care. She worked her way to college alone. She survived once, and she would survive again. Alara closed her eyes. Outside, cars honked and people shouted. The motel light flickered. She let herself cry. She let herself feel angry and hurt. Tonight she would break. Tomorrow she would stand again. Someone banged on her door. Alara opened her eyes, confused. Then she remembered everything. Divorced. No home, no job. She checked the time. It was 10 a.m. She had slept 12 hours. She had only $14 left. She needed to pay for one more night by 3 p.m. But she didn't have enough money, so she packed her things. It didn't take long. Outside it was cold. October winds bit through her thin clothes. Caspian did not even pack her winter coat. Alara walked until she found a small diner. She ordered coffee and toast for $3. Now she had only $11 left. The owner of the diner, a woman in her 50s named Irene, watched her. Irene looked tired but kind. "You need a job?" she asked. "Yes," Alara said. "I really need one." "Can you work as a waitress?" "I think I can learn." Irene thought for a while, then nodded. "I have a small storage room out back. It's tiny, but there's a bed. You work breakfast and lunch. I pay you minimum wage plus tips, and you can sleep in the storage room." Alara felt like crying, not from sadness, but from relief. "Yes," she whispered. "Thank you." Alara worked her first day. It was hard. Her feet hurt. Her surgery scar pulled every time she lifted plates. She dropped a tray and mixed up orders, but she tried her best. She earned $42 in tips. At night, Irene showed her the storage room. It was very small, like a closet, but it had a bed, a lamp, and clean towels. The bathroom was down the hallway. "It isn't much," Irene said. "It is everything," Alara answered softly, and she meant it. Alara worked every day. She woke up at 5 a.m., worked until afternoon, ate, slept, and repeated. Her body got used to it, but her heart still hurt. She thought about Caspian and Jade. She thought about how easily she was thrown away. She tried calling Caspian to ask about the stolen money, but he blocked her. She sent emails. He blocked those too. A lawyer cost money she didn't have. Free legal help had a waiting list of 3 months. Then something strange happened. One day a man walked into the diner. He wore a fancy suit. His hair was gray. He looked rich, but his eyes looked kind. He sat in the same corner booth every day. He ordered only coffee. He watched quietly. Alara brought his drink. "Anything else?" she asked. "No, thank you," he said politely. "What is your name?" he asked later. Alara hesitated. Sometimes men asking questions made her uncomfortable. But he looked gentle, safe. "Alara," she said. "Alara what?" She didn't want to say her married name, but she did. "Alara Vance." He nodded slowly, like he was thinking hard. The next day and the next, he returned. Always the same seat, same order. Just coffee. He watched her work like he was studying her. On the 4th day, Irene pulled Alara aside. "He asked about you," Irene said quietly. "Not creepy questions, just where you're from and how long you've worked here." Alara felt nervous. She walked to his booth. "Sir," she said with shaking hands, "I need to ask you to stop coming. You make me feel nervous." He looked surprised, then gentle again. "I'm sorry, I did not want to scare you. My name is Warren Blackwood. I am a private investigator." He gave her a card. "I have been looking for someone for many years. I think you might be that person." Alara sat down, confused. "I don't understand," she whispered. Warren pulled out a photograph. It showed a man holding a baby. The baby had a tiny crescent-shaped birthmark behind her left ear, the same birthmark Alara had. Warren spoke softly. 28 years ago, a rich man lost his baby daughter. There was a car accident. His wife died. The baby disappeared. He has searched his whole life." Alara shook her head. "That's not me. I was abandoned as a baby. I grew up in foster care." Warren nodded kindly. "What is your birthday?" "March 15th, she replied. "That matches," he said. He asked if she had papers from before foster care. She did not. They told her she was left in a hospital with no name. Warren leaned closer. My employer's name is Alistair Thorne. He just wants to know the terrain. No pressure, no strings. If you are his daughter, he wants to meet you. If not, we walk away. Alara's heart pounded. Alistair Thorne. Everyone knew that name. He was a billionaire, a kind man who helped many people. Alara laughed a little, but her eyes were wet. This is crazy. I sleep in a storage closet. My husband left me like trash. I'm not someone important. Warren smiled softly. Maybe you are, he said. Will you take a DNA test? Alara looked at the photo again. The baby had her birthmark. The man holding her looked full of love. She had lost everything. She had nothing left to fear. Okay, she whispered. Okay, I'll do it. Alistair Thorne had everything. He had a loving wife named Eleanor, a sweet baby girl with big eyes, and a tech company that was starting to grow. They lived in a small, cozy house. They dreamed of success, happiness, and a long future together. Then one Tuesday, everything changed. Eleanor took the baby to the doctor. Alistair went to work. He hugged them, kissed them, and promised to come home for dinner. He never saw them alive again. A woman followed Eleanor from the clinic. The woman had lost her own baby and was not thinking clearly. She waited until Eleanor was putting the baby in the car. She forced Eleanor to drive away. The police chased them. The road was wet. The kidnapper lost control of the car. The crash was terrible. Eleanor died right away. The kidnapper who stole the baby was hurt and went to the hospital. 3 days later, he died and never woke up again. The baby was not with him. She was gone. The police looked everywhere. They searched the roads, the hills, and the forests. They looked for many hours. The kidnapper's car had fallen off the road into thick, dark woods. It took the police a very long time even to find the broken car. But when they finally reached it, the baby was not there anymore. She had disappeared. The police had an idea. Maybe someone passing by found the baby and took her away. Maybe they tried to save her, or maybe they took her for a bad reason. No one knew. No one saw what happened. No one heard anything. The baby was gone, and they never found the Tyreen. The baby's father, Alistair Thorne, was a very rich and smart man. He loved his baby more than anything. Losing her broke his heart. But instead of giving up, he became very determined. He decided he would never stop searching for her. He used all of his money and power to find her. He hired many private investigators. He put posters everywhere. He offered large rewards. He talked on TV news and asked people for help. His sadness turned into a strong mission. He wanted to find his daughter, no matter how long it took. Alistair also worked very hard at his technology company, Thorne Technologies. Work helped him stay busy when his heart hurt too much. In 5 years, his company became worth billions of dollars. In 10 years, Alistair became one of the most successful businessmen in the world. People respected him and admired him, but no amount of money brought his daughter back. Alistair never married again. He never had other children. In his huge house, there was a quiet, empty room that he had made for his little baby girl many years ago. He never changed anything in that room. The crib, the toys, the tiny clothes stayed just the same. He kept it waiting for her, waiting for the day she might come back home. One of Alistair's private investigators was named Warren Blackwood. He worked for Alistair for 20 whole years. Many investigators stopped looking when the trail got cold, but Warren did not. He worked slowly and carefully. He believed that someday he would find the missing girl. He looked through old records, old papers, and old names. Every month he met with Alistair and gave him updates. Warren told Alistair, "Your daughter was only 6 months old when she disappeared. She had no school records, no doctor records, no teeth records. All we know is her DNA and one special thing, a crescent-shaped birthmark behind her left ear." Alistair said, "Then we find that birthmark, even if we must check every girl of the right age in the country." Warren agreed, but he explained it was a very hard job. There were so many young women in the country, millions. But they started with the most likely places: hospitals, adoption centers, foster care homes, and places where unnamed babies were found. Warren worked for years and years. He searched old files, he wrote letters, he collected information, he talked to government offices, he searched for any girl who could be the missing child. After many years, Warren found 43 possible women with the right age, right time, and the same type of birthmark. He tested the DNA of 42 girls. One by one, the results came back, not a match. But the 43rd girl was different. Her name was Alara. Alara entered foster care as a tiny baby, with no name and no parents. There was an old picture of her when she was found as an infant. The picture was blurry, but the birthmark behind her ear was clear. Warren felt hope rise in his heart. It took 6 more months to find Alara. She had moved to different cities, changed jobs, changed homes, and even changed her name after marriage. It was very difficult to track her, but Warren never gave up. Finally, he found her working in a small diner. Her clothes were old. She looked tired all the time. Her face showed sadness and pain. Warren watched her quietly and felt his heart ache. She looked just like Alistair's late wife, Eleanor. She had the same eyes, the same way of tilting her head when she thought. Warren knew in his heart this was the missing daughter, but Warren also saw something else. Alara had been hurt recently. She looked like she was barely surviving. Her husband had left her, taken her money, and broken her heart. She was living in a tiny storage room behind the diner. She was tired, lonely, and struggling. Warren decided to approach gently. He introduced himself and asked her to meet again the next day to take a DNA test. He told her it was simple, just a small swab inside her cheek. Alara agreed, but she looked scared. She wondered why a stranger would want her DNA. Warren returned to his hotel and called Alistair. "Did you find her?" Alistair asked. "I found someone who might be her," Warren replied. She agreed to the DNA test. Alistair became silent. Then he whispered softly, "What is she like?" Warren thought carefully before speaking. "She is working very hard. Life has not been easy for her. She is tired, but she is strong. She is surviving." Alistair's voice shook. "Is she okay?" "She will be," Warren said, believing his words. "She has Eleanor's strength." Alistair warned him not to give him hope unless he was sure. Warren apologized, but deep in his heart, he was already sure. The next day, Alara came to meet Warren at a small coffee shop. She borrowed a nicer sweater so she could look presentable. She washed her hair twice. The DNA kit was small and easy. She swabbed her cheek, put the sample into a tube, and handed it to Warren. Her hands shook. She asked quietly, "What happens if I am his daughter?" Warren said kindly, "Then you can choose to meet him. Only if you want to. He will never force you. And if I'm not, then you're not. But there is something Alistair wants to give you either way." Warren slid an envelope across the table. Inside was a check for $5,000. Alara stared at it for a long time. She tried to refuse, but Warren insisted. Alistair wanted to help her no matter the result. Alara needed money. She opened a bank account under her own name, bought a few clothes, a phone plan, some bathroom items, and saved the rest. She tried not to dream of a new future, but late at night she wondered, what if she belonged to someone? What if someone had been looking for her all this time? 2 weeks later, on Tuesday morning, Warren called and asked her to come to Thorn Technologies at 4 p.m. Alara's heart raced. Did this mean yes? Did this mean no? She took 2 buses to the shiny, tall building. Warren met her in the lobby. Behind him stood a kind-looking man with gray hair and Eleanor's eyes. Alara froze. Warren spoke softly. "Alara, this is Alistair Thorn. The DNA test is a match. You are his daughter." Alara could not breathe. Her world spun. She held onto a chair for balance. Alistair stepped forward slowly, carefully. His eyes filled with tears. "I have looked for you for 28 years, he whispered. "Every single day." Alara could not speak. She just stared at him. Alistair gently took out an old photo, Eleanor holding baby Alara, both smiling happily. The birthmark was visible. This was real. "You're my daughter," Alistair said. "If you allow me, I want to be part of your life." Alara whispered, shaking, "I live in a storage room. I have nothing. I am nothing." Alistair knelt in front of her and said with strong love, "You are everything. You are my daughter. You are Eleanor's daughter. You have never been nothing." Alara burst into hard, loud tears, tears she had held inside for 28 years. Alistair opened his arms gently and asked, "May I hug you?" Alara nodded. Her father wrapped his arms around her, giving her the love she had missed her whole life. She cried on his shoulder, shaking. He held her carefully like she was the most precious person in the world. They talked for hours in Alistair's big office with tall glass windows. Alara told him about her life, moving from foster home to foster home, aging out with only a garbage bag of clothes, getting a degree slowly, being told she was worthless by her husband. Alistair listened to every word like it was treasure. When she finished, he said, "You are strong. You survived. I am proud of you." Alara said she did not feel strong. Alistair told her gently, "Strength is not about feeling powerful. Strength is getting up when life pushes you down. You have done that again and again." As the sun went down, Warren arranged a car so Alara could collect her things from the diner. Alistair asked if he could come with her. Alara agreed. At the diner, she told Irene the truth. "This is my father," she said. Irene's tough face softened. She hugged Alara. "It's about time someone loved you like family." They went to the tiny storage room where Alara slept. Alistair saw the small bed, the one lamp, the garbage bag with clothes. His eyes watered with pain. "You lived like this?" he asked quietly. "It was better than the motel," Alara said. Alistair immediately called someone. He asked Warren to write down Irene's details. "I am buying this diner," he said. Alara tried to stop him, but Alistair explained he wanted to help Irene because she helped his daughter. Within hours, the diner belonged to Irene. She cried and hugged Alara tight. "You better visit me," Irene said. "Don't you forget us just because you're fancy now." Alara laughed through tears. "I will visit," she promised. "I won't forget. You saved my life." Alistair's big house was far away from the city. It took 45 minutes to reach. As the car drove in through tall gates and up a long road with many trees, Alara pressed her face to the window. She looked and looked because everything was so beautiful, huge, and a little scary too. "This is not just my house," Alistair told her kindly. "This is your home. You are not a guest here. Your mother and I bought this house when you were born. We always wanted you to live here." He took her to a bedroom. It was so big that it was bigger than the whole diner Alara used to sleep in. "This room is yours," he said. "The closet is empty, so tomorrow we will go buy new clothes. There is a bathroom too. Everything you need is here." Alara stood in the middle of the room and turned around slowly. She thought, "I don't belong here." But Alistair said softly, "Alara, the only person who belongs here most is you. This house waited for you for 28 years, just like I waited for you." That night, Alara slept in a bed so soft that it felt like she was floating on a cloud. 2 weeks ago, she was sleeping in a storage room on a hard cot. 2 weeks ago, no one knew her, no one cared. But now she was in a mansion, loved, safe, and a daughter again. The next morning, she woke up with warm sunshine coming through shiny curtains. She heard Alistair calling her for breakfast. It felt like a dream, but a real one. A chef made breakfast. The omelette tasted so good that Alara almost cried because she had never eaten something like that before. While they ate, Alistair explained everything that happened 28 years ago. "The woman who took you was named Miranda," he said. "She lost her own baby girl. Her baby died. She became very sad and sick in her mind. She saw your mother holding you at a clinic. Something broke inside her and she took you." Alara put her fork down. "So she stole me?" "Yes," Alistair said quietly. "After the car crash, someone found you alive and took you away from the wreck. You were taken to a hospital far away. No name, no family, just a baby." Alara asked, "Do you think they were trying to save me?" "I hope so," Alistair said, his eyes soft and sad. "I want to believe someone wanted you to live, even if they could not keep you." Then Alistair's helper Warren came to the table. He put many papers and pictures down. "I have been working on this case for many, many years," he said. "Here's what we know." He told Alara she was put into foster care and named Jane Doe because no one knew who she really was. For 6 months, no one adopted her. After that, she was moved through 7 different homes. Some were okay, some were terrible. Alara nodded softly. None of them felt like home. Alistair looked pained. "I searched for you every day." Alara held his hand and said, "You didn't know. You couldn't have known who I was. It's not your fault." After a bit, Alistair asked gently, "Tell me about your husband, the one who hurt you." Alara breathed slowly. "His name is Caspian. I met him 6 years ago. I worked at a law office. He made me feel important. We got married for 5 years. At first, he was kind. I worked 2 jobs to help him through business school. But when he got a better job, he changed. He said I wasn't good enough. He stayed out late. He smelled like another woman's perfume." Alara's eyes hurt remembering. "One day I returned home from a small surgery and found my things packed. He took all our money. He divorced me. He left." Warren looked through his papers. "His girlfriend was his young secretary. They were together for 2 years, even while you were married." Alara was shocked. "How do you know?" "I checked everything in your life once we found you," Warren said. "He left credit card receipts in hotels, emails. He didn't even hide." Alistair leaned forward. "Do you want justice? My lawyers are strong. We can fight. We can make him return what he stole." Alara thought about how Caspian treated her like trash, how he threw her out when she was weak and hurting. She whispered, "I just want him gone." "He will be," Alistair promised. "But remember, you get half of everything earned during the marriage. He cannot take all." Warren slid another paper to her. "This is your inheritance from your mother. It waited for you all these years. Now it is yours." Alara read the number. $8 million. Her hands shook. $8 million waiting while she was sleeping on cold floors and eating cheap noodles for dinner. "I don't know what to do with so much money," she said quietly. "You don't need to do anything right now," Alistair said gently. "Just know this, your worth wasn't created by the money. You were valuable even when you were poor. You were valuable when you worked 2 jobs. Money does not change who you are. It only gives you freedom." Alara walked to the bathroom and looked at herself in the mirror. She still looked like Alara, but stronger. She was Alara Thorne, daughter of Alistair and Eleanor. Strong, alive, not nothing, never nothing. When she returned, Alistair and Warren were planning legal steps. "We will answer the divorce," Warren said. "Demand all financial records." Alara sat down and said firmly, "Do it. Make him understand he was wrong about me." Alistair smiled proudly. "That's my girl." Living with Alistair felt like living inside a dream. Alara woke every morning surprised she was still here. Safe, loved, home. Alistair stayed home most days to keep her company. They ate dinner together every night. He asked her about her thoughts, her ideas, her feelings. He treated her like she mattered. One night at dinner, he said, "I want you to join my company. Not because you are my daughter, because you would be good." Alara thought long and hard, then agreed. She worked in user experience, helping make technology easy for everyone, especially poor people like she once was. She gave ideas no one at the office ever thought about. They all had big degrees, fancy schools, rich lives. Alara had real experience with struggle. One day, during her first presentation, her voice shook. But she spoke clearly. "You make things for rich people only. What about people who can't pay a lot? What about homes without fast internet? Why is help hard to reach unless you have unlimited phone time?" The whole room went quiet. "That's brilliant," the designer said. Alara smiled softly. "It's because none of you were ever poor like me." In 3 months, she was leading her own big project. She worked hard, day and night. Alistair encouraged her always. Make something that helps others, he said. Something your mother would smile at. Meanwhile, Caspian started fighting back. He wanted money. He even wanted half of her inheritance, even though it was never his. He is desperate, Alistair's lawyer said. He thought he was divorcing someone poor, but now he knows he made a mistake. Alara felt no fear, only strength. He will get nothing, she said. Soon newspapers and TV started talking about Alara, lost daughter found after 28 years. Her picture was everywhere. Some stories were kind, some were rude and talked about her past or her marriage. Caspian saw it too. He began calling Alara and crying on voicemail, saying he wanted her back. She deleted every message. Jade, the girlfriend, tried to reach her too, but Alara blocked her. She was done with both of them. 6 months later, Alara looked in the mirror again. She looked healthy, glowing, full of life. She hardly recognized the sad woman from before. One evening, she went to a fancy charity event with Alistair. It was her first time being shown to the world as his daughter. Alara felt nervous, but Alistair's hand on her shoulder kept her strong. "You belong here," he whispered. Across the room, she saw a man she knew, Caspian's old boss. He hurried over. "Alara, is that you?" "Yes," she said calmly. "I saw the news about you and your father. I want to apologize. Caspian told us terrible things about you. We believed him without checking, but now I know he was lying." Alara nodded. "You believed him because it was easy, not because it was true." The man looked embarrassed. He was stealing money from clients. He was fired. He has no job now and maybe big trouble coming. His new girlfriend left him. Alara smiled gently. "That's sad for him." Alistair squeezed her shoulder proudly. "You handled that perfectly." But Warren warned her, "Men who lose everything sometimes do dangerous things. We will get you protection." Alara didn't think she would ever need it. She was wrong. After 6 more months, Alara's company project finally launched. It was called Thorn Connect. It gave cheap phones, easy apps, low-cost data, perfect for people who struggled like she did. Some newspapers wrote mean lines like, "Billionaire's daughter plays with charity." Alara wanted everyone to see how her company helped real people. So she took news reporters to the towns and places where her computers and internet tools were used. They met single mothers who could now fill job forms online. They met old grandparents who could video call their grandkids. They met students who could do homework without walking far to the library. People asked Alara if she was doing charity. She said kindly but proudly, "This is not charity. This is smart business. Many people need technology, but they don't have money to buy it. We are helping people who no one helped before." Very soon, her product became popular. After 3 months, Alara's business Thorn Connect was making money. After 6 months, other companies tried to copy what she was doing. Her father, Alistair, was happy and proud. He said, "You did something I never could. You made technology easy for everyone." Alara was working at her desk, planning to make the company even bigger. Her assistant called her through the office phone. "Miss Alara, a man named Caspian Vance is here. He has no appointment." Alara's hand froze. She remembered Caspian, her ex-husband. She said sharply, "Tell security to send him away." But her assistant said, "He says it's urgent, about the divorce." Alara replied, "The divorce finished last month. I don't want to see him. Ask security to remove him." But before they could, Caspian pushed past the assistant and stood at her door. He looked messy, hair uncombed, clothes wrinkled, eyes sad and tired. "Alara, please, I need to talk." Security came to take him out, but Alara raised a hand. "You get 5 minutes, then you must leave, or I will have you arrested." Caspian looked at the guards and whispered, "Can we talk alone?" Alara shook her head. "No, say what you came to say." Caspian walked into the office, and Alara noticed his hands were shaking. "I made a mistake," he said. "A big one. I should never have left you." Alara stayed calm. "You didn't make a mistake, Caspian. You made a choice." He tried again. "I was stupid, Jade." He stopped. "She left when she found out I had no money." Alara looked at him with a steady face. And you think I will take you back? Because I'm lonely, he whispered. Because I need you. We were good once. Alara stood up slowly. We were never good. I worked 2 jobs so you could go to school. I supported you. Then, when you didn't need me anymore, you walked away. You told me I was worth nothing. Caspian swallowed. I was wrong. Yes, she said softly, but you were wrong about leaving me and wrong about my worth. Look around, Caspian, she pointed at her office. Shiny awards, beautiful furniture, big glass windows. I built this life. Me, the girl you said was just a receptionist. I run a big company now. I help people, and I did all of it without you. Caspian's face turned angry. You have all this only because your father is rich. You didn't earn it. Alara smiled a sad, strong smile. I earned every part of my life. I survived living in many foster homes. I paid for my own college. I survived losing my mother, and I survived you. Caspian's eyes filled with tears. Please, Alara, I lost my job. Jade left. I have nothing. Alara remembered the day he left her with only garbage bags and tears. She said softly, now you know how I felt, but I rebuilt myself. You just want someone to fix your life for you. She pressed a button. Security. Escort Mr. Vance out. He must never return. As guards walked him away, he shouted, You'll regret this. You think you're special, but you're just a nobody, a foster kid. Even your mother couldn't keep you alive. Those words once would have broken Alara's heart, but now she felt strong, calm, sure. My mother died protecting me, she told him quietly. She loved me more in 6 months than you pretended to love me in 5 years. Caspian stopped speaking. He finally understood he lost her forever. Alara sat back in her chair, hands shaking a little. Her assistant peeked in. Are you okay, Miss Thorne? I'm fine, Alara said, and she meant it. I want to talk to legal team. We need a restraining order. She told her father, Alistair, everything. He was angry. I should have been there, he said. I handled it, she replied. You shouldn't have had to. He shouldn't have gotten inside. Alara touched her father's hand. Dad, I needed to see him, to know he no longer controls me. And he doesn't. Alistair hugged her tightly. I'm proud of you. You're my daughter. The world is lucky to have you. Later, Alara received a text from an unknown number. You think you won. I know things about your past. I will ruin you. She showed it to Warren, Alistair's friend and trusted helper. Empty threats, Warren said. He has nothing, but we will track his messages. Caspian sent 3 more angry texts that night, then no more. Alara waited. Something felt unfinished. A gossip website posted a mean story about her. Billionaire's daughter, foster care trouble. It had lies saying she was rude, violent, and that she faked her DNA story. Her heart felt heavy, but she did not cry. Her assistant said, Your dad is on the phone. He sounds upset. Alistair said, Alara, we will sue them. But Alara said quietly, No, we will not sue. Why not? Her father asked. Because some things they said are true. I was angry sometimes in foster homes. I did feel abandoned, and I am not ashamed of that anymore. Then she said something strong. I will not defend myself with anger. I will speak with truth. Alara then wrote a long, honest letter online. She wrote about how foster kids feel, scared, lonely, unwanted. She wrote about the good homes and the bad ones. She wrote about Caspian without saying his name. She wrote that she is not worthless and no child is. She wrote, My value is mine. I survived. I grew. I am enough. Thousands of people shared her letter. Former foster kids thanked her. People cried reading her story. The gossip site had to take back their lies. Soon, Warren found proof that Caspian paid people to lie. There were emails, bank records, phone calls, everything. This is enough to put him in jail, Warren said. Alistair wanted to punish Caspian, but Alara shook her head. No, I am done fighting him. I just want peace. She asked only for a restraining order and sent Caspian one last message. I know what you did. I have proof. I will not destroy your life. I will do something harder. I will live happily without you. If you ever try to hurt me again, my lawyers will handle it. Alistair looked at her with pride. You're stronger than anyone, he whispered. No, Alara said softly. I am just free now. Alara went into a room in her father's house. The room was decorated for a baby that never got to grow up there, Alara's nursery. There were old toys, soft books, a little crib, a rocking chair. Alara sat in that chair and cried, not because of Caspian, but because for years she felt she wasn't enough. She felt she needed to earn love. Her father came and sat beside her. Your mother used to sit in this chair when she was pregnant, he said. She talked to you every night. She said you would be brave, kind, and change the world. Alara held his hand. I wish I knew her. He smiled with tears in his eyes. You do know her. You are just like her. And in that moment, Alara felt something she had waited her whole life for. She felt home. Caspian left the city soon after. Alara didn't think about him again. She had work to do. Good work. Thorn Connect announced a plan to bring internet to faraway villages. They would give free tablets to poor students. At a press meeting, reporters asked, is this just for attention? Are you using your sad past for sympathy? Alara answered clearly, I use my past to make a better future. I know how it feels to have no internet, no tools, no chances. This is not sympathy. This is fairness. Another asked, is this just your father's money? Alara replied proudly, I run a successful company. We invest, we help, we grow. This is not playing. This is real business, real change. Alistair stepped forward and spoke with a proud voice. I want to say something. My daughter has brought more new ideas to this company in 1 year than some teams have in 10 years. She is not here just because she is my daughter. She is here because she is smart and amazing. After the big press meeting was over, Warren walked to Alara and gently took her aside. There is someone who wants to meet you, he said. He led her to a quiet room. Inside, a man in his early 30s was sitting. He looked neat and professional, but also a little nervous, like someone meeting a hero. Alara, this is Julian Chin, Warren said. He is an architect. He has been working on building designs for our community technology centers. Julian stood up and held out his hand with a warm smile. I have been watching your work, he said. It is amazing what you are doing. Alara shook his hand and saw that his eyes were kind and full of real excitement. Thank you, she said. I saw your designs too. They are just what we need, friendly, easy to use, and helpful. They sat and talked for a long time, almost 1 whole hour. They talked about the project, about buildings and ideas, and about how to make places that felt happy and safe, not cold or scary. Julian shared that he grew up in a poor neighborhood. He understood why Alara wanted these centers to help people like her. As they were leaving, Julian asked shyly, would you like to get coffee with me sometime? To talk about the project more. Alara smiled softly. I'd like that. 3 months later, the very first Thorn Connect Community Center opened, and it was built in Alara's old neighborhood, the same place where she grew up in foster homes. Alara chose this place on purpose. She wanted to give back to the children who were like her once. The ribbon-cutting ceremony was big and filled with excitement. Reporters came with cameras, families came with children, former foster kids came too. Many people came hoping to find help, love, or even just someone who believed in them. Irene came as well. She had sold her old diner and was now living happily in Skye, thanks to Alistair, who had helped her. She hugged Alara tightly. Look at you, Irene said with tears in her eyes. I always knew you were special. Alara hugged her back and whispered, you gave me a chance when nobody else did. I will never forget that. Julian was there too. Over the past few months, he had become a big part of Alara's life. They had coffee many times, then dinners, then long walks where they talked about everything, about dreams, about hope, about life. After the ceremony, Julian asked her, so is this what you always dreamed about? Alara thought for a moment and shook her head. No, she said honestly, I never dreamed of any of this. Before, I just wanted to survive, but now I want to help people not only survive, but grow and be strong. As the sun slowly went down, her father Alistair found her standing with Julian, watching happy children enter the new center. "Your mother would be so proud," he said softly. "I am proud too." Alara leaned her head on her father's shoulder. "I couldn't have done it without you," she said. But Alistair shook his head gently. "Yes, you could. You always had this strength inside you. I only gave you the tools to show the world what I already knew." 6 months after the center opened, Alara got an email from someone she did not know. She almost didn't open it, but then she did. The email said, "I saw what you built. I saw what you are doing. I was wrong about you. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just want you to know you were always more than I believed." It was signed Caspian. Okay. Alara read it twice. Then she deleted it. She didn't need his sorry. She didn't need his words. She had herself. She had her dad. She had her team. She had people like Irene and Warren who truly cared. She had Julian, who looked at her like she was special, not because she was rich, but because of who she was inside. That night, Alara looked at herself in the mirror, not in a tiny room behind a diner anymore, but in her own beautiful home, a place where she finally belonged. She whispered to her reflection, "You were never nothing. You were always everything." Her phone buzzed. A message from Julian flashed on the screen. "Dinner tomorrow? I have something important to ask." Alara smiled brightly. "Yes, I can't wait," she typed. She remembered the girl she was a year ago, tired, alone, scared, sleeping with her belongings in garbage bags. That girl had survived. That girl had fought. That girl never gave up. And now she was here, strong, loved, successful, and ready for the future. Alara Thorne was always worthy of love and happiness. She only needed someone to believe in her, and now she believed in herself. Caspian tried to throw her away, but instead he helped her fly free.